Well, this might be, yeah, slightly problematic. That's why I jumped off. That was completely on purpose, by the way. Oh, that was not. Ooh. Seems like we are some kind of acrobat. Hello and welcome back to the Duelist Adventures of Mr. Bruce. And we're gonna try to win this battle without too many casualties. Now, I gotta mention something that was actually extremely amusing. There was an update to the current version that I'm playing on, and it basically turned me and my companions into mud golems. If you've seen that episode of a previous series where I referred to, you know, Botania summoning mud golems, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, it was easy enough to fix. I just had to save the game and then reload, and that is pretty much it. That's all that really needed to be done. Thankfully, I was actually thinking to myself that I would need to end the series just purely for the fact that these mud golems were insanely difficult to actually see what you were doing. It was just an absolute monstrous amalgamation of textures and what have you, all melded together in some weird way, and it really didn't give you any opportunity to, well, see what you were doing, basically. You would see some movement, but people would just be dying around you. I actually entered a relatively small battle against a minor Aserai vassal of about 40 units, and all of my people were actually fine. All of my, you know, the members of my army, they're all absolutely fine, no problem at all there. However, just the two companions that I have in my clan were bugged out like no one's business, and of course my own character as well. Wish I'd actually gotten some footage of that. I actually thought that it was irreversible, basically, so that's the reason why I didn't, because I thought I would have to either record an episode with that intact, or I would be able to fix it. And I did verify game cache, as you normally would do in these kinds of situations. If you ever have any issues, then verify game cache, because generally that does fix quite a lot of things. I don't think it actually fixed anything, because it didn't acquire any new files or any files that needed repairing or anything like that, so I don't think that that was the issue. But I think saving and reloading the game made all the difference. Thankfully, we were able to rectify the problem. Anyway, there you go. We were able to get this guy. He's actually a major vassal. I wouldn't have expected that, but he's giving me 2,400 experience, which is pretty significant. And otherwise, do I have a lot of space? Not a lot, actually. Not a lot. So I guess we're just going to go for a couple more of these. And yeah, I can't really take that much more. No, I can't take any more than that. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm going to just keep basically a couple of spaces just in case I come across some really high tier units that I want to keep. And I don't really like swapping around all the time, because I feel like that wastes a lot of time, basically, you know. It wastes a lot of time, wastes a lot of effort, and I prefer for that not to happen. So anyway, Patir's army took back Iakis basically just now. Just moments ago they took it back, which is very good, because that means that we don't have to worry so much about everything. And now I'm kind of wondering what I should do right now, because I don't have a huge amount of prisoners that want to join us. If I did, then what I would do is I would go and speak to Duane the Falcon, who is of course our new member in our clan, and I would actually like him to join us, but well, I would actually like him to, shall we say, join us with a larger army. Yes, that would probably help quite a bit. Anyway, let's just increase our charm skill a little bit, increase our steward skill some more as well. And there we go. Okay, so what is actually going on in Kasira right now? 432. I think these guys are probably... Yes, they're probably going to... What? Why would you try and take this castle over the town? They have basically the same amount of defenders. That is pretty terrible. Yeah, that is pretty terrible. Anyway, I don't really like how my army is set up right now. I don't know whether you can notice why that is, but basically it is because we have so many units of just one. Have you noticed that? Look at this. We've got 1 sheriff, 1 Imperial veteran caravan guard, 1 Imperial trained infantryman. Obviously, that's going to level up eventually, but I just see so many 1s here, and I'm not a big fan of that. I much prefer to have a much more uniform, consolidated army. So I think what I might end up doing is transferring a bunch of the singular units over to our companions here, and then seeing what we can do about that, because I think that's probably a little more useful than me just lugging around these very singular units, and then I'll just try to be a little bit more uniform by recruiting more of the same units from a variety of different sources, and then see how that goes. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we will indeed end up helping Mr. Peder here with his siege. Join the continuing siege. There we go. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could actually do this in a previous episode. I actually thought you needed to join the army, and as a result I disbanded, and then Najun went off and he got himself taken prisoner and everything, so that was all my fault actually. And I did not realize that you could just go up and join them straight up. So that's actually really nice. That is very, very cool news to me. Anyway, we're going to hopefully be able to get into a siege here, and I am going to aim to get 225 one-handed weapon proficiency. I think I'm quite close to it. Yes, I am at 218. As you can see, we're almost at the maximum cap. Well, technically not really the maximum cap of what we can learn, because generally what happens is once you reach the end of the green zone, it decreases your learning rate every single time you gain a skill point in that skill. But it doesn't decrease it to 0 just yet. So that's pretty cool. I'm almost at 175 athletics as well, so I'm looking forward to leveling that up too. And I can only hope that we're actually going to... Oh, Step Bandit's clan was actually destroyed. Wow, okay. That's pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm going to just check one last time to see if there's any people that need converting, but otherwise we're going to go into the siege. There's 405 units here, and we have about 800 plus, so it shouldn't be too bad for us to achieve a victory here. Hopefully it's going to work out in our favor. And oh dear, this is that one, isn't it? Yes, so this castle is one of those layouts that I really do not appreciate, because it has an extremely long, well, I don't even know what to really call it, but a lengthy road up to the main gate, and that is going to cause a significant amount of damage taken for our battering ram. And if our siege towers do reach the walls by some miracle, because obviously they are also going to get hugely bombarded by massive amounts of projectiles, at the very least, hopefully one of them will reach there, but then all the enemies will consolidate their defense in that one place, and that is going to make things very difficult for us. Anyway, I was actually thinking of helping these guys to... Oh! Should I help them? Oh, this is bad. I wish I was in the back, actually. If I get shot once, I'll move back. But I kind of would like to help a little bit. You know, I feel like I should get athletics for this, because this is a huge exertion. I mean, this is a massive, massive structure, and it must be much heavier than just taking 4 men to move it. I feel like it probably would take, I don't know, 8? Maybe 10? I don't know. I mean, it really depends, obviously. I mean, it's just made out of wood, but you see these logs. These logs are really, really heavy. The boards, not so much, obviously, but they are quite thick as well. You can see that. I mean, obviously, this is a war engine, basically. This is a war engine, so obviously they're going to try and build it as sturdily as they possibly can. But in my case, I feel like this is... I don't know, I feel like it is extremely unlikely that 4 people would be able to move this up a hill, no less, as well. Up a hill. So, there's also that to consider. But I guess, you know, maybe in the fictional land of Calradia, people are slightly stronger than normal. So maybe that's maybe that's what's going on here. Anyway, I'm just going to leave the movement to this other guy here, because I kind of want to get prepared to assault the walls if I possibly can. That would be nice. And I would very much appreciate these Wrath Doombringers not being killed, because I only have 2 of these as far as I'm aware, and it would be very nice to keep those alive as long as possible. No, I don't have a shield. Oh, I keep forgetting that I don't have a shield. Otherwise I was going to stand in front of him and try and take some of the damage off him, but yeah, that's a very difficult thing to do. Alright, let's go. Let's do this. I'm not entirely sure where to go, to be honest, because I don't really want to get shot, but I also kind of want to get in there. Here we go. Get him. Get him, get him, get him. Yes. I'm trying to get good speed bonuses as well, because if I can get good speed bonuses, that's going to increase my athletic skill much more as well. So hopefully that can help us. Yes. This is the reason why I'm also using my mace as well, by the way, because it is just so incredibly good at close quarters combat. Oh, okay. Hello. Well, this might be, yeah, slightly problematic. That's why I jumped off. That was completely on purpose, by the way. Oh, that was not. Ooh. Seems like we are some kind of acrobat. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm going to go back to my sword now that we have a little bit more space to swing it. And, oh, dear. Okay, well, this is somewhat bad. We really don't want to be in this situation. Okay, I've got to be careful. Got to be careful. Don't want to overextend. Okay, never mind. I've already overextended, you know. There's no point in me saying I don't want to overextend. Well, I already have. Multiple times, actually, now. Ah, there's still people upstairs by the looks of things, so let's go and visit them. There's only one. Ooh, that was a bit of a risk. I actually thought to myself, maybe I'm going to take more damage than I think jumping down there, but thankfully no. And we have... Oh, we gained a level! We actually gained a level. Fantastic. That's very nice. I like it. Whoa, did you see that? You see that guy's corpse? He literally just bounced along the ground there for a second. Not entirely sure what's going on with that, but okay. And I believe that is indeed it. There's only 3 enemies remaining. Okay, so what happened to the Wrath Doombringers? Are they alive? Let me actually have a look. Oh, yeah, it's going to be very difficult for me to actually find that out unless I scroll all the way down, because I believe our party is at the bottom, so... where are they? Wrath Doombringers? They are... Oh, I lost one. Oh, no. Never mind. I actually didn't lose any. They just got knocked unconscious. One of them got knocked unconscious, so that's nice at the very least. Alright, so we're gaining some good relation with these fellows as well. We're going to take some of these, and we might as well take some of these anyway, because even though they're militia, and I don't really like using militia, I can potentially try to convert them and then give them to one of our clan members. So that's hopefully going to work out quite well. Peder, the leader of the army, died in that battle as well. Yes, the travesty of the death system strikes again. It is quite amusing, because it seems to only strike at friendly units much more than it strikes at hostile units. I'm not entirely sure whether that's a coincidence or not, but whatever the case, we'll go in here, try and take this guy out, and... Oh, some weird thing happened there. Not entirely sure what that menu was for, but alright. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Alright, so let's see what's actually going to happen now. Am I... Yes, it seems highly unlikely that at this point I'm even going to be getting any additional castles. Now, here's the thing. I originally planned to make my own faction, right? Yeah, that was my plan. You know, someone suggested it, and I thought, oh, that sounds like a good idea. Why not? You know, because I was already kind of thinking about it, and if someone else already thought about it as well, then maybe that's going to help us out. So what I thought was, hey, we're just going to see what happens with the Southern Empire in Aserai territory, and then we'll try to, you know, get an opportunity to strike and we could leave the faction at pretty much any time if we wanted to. And that is wherein lies the problem, because we have this army right here, yeah? So this is Oros's army, of course, and you can see here that he has 33 Mamluk Palace Guards. He's got 7 elite cataphracts. He has mercenary cavalry, even though they're not particularly good. He has 11 Palatine Guards, 13 heavy cavalry, and so on. He has a lot of relatively strong units, and I don't know whether I would be able to hold up against that while doing a siege, because obviously I need to do a siege to be able to take something. You know, you can't do the thing in Warband where you would have the ability to attack something that has less than 20 units, because if a garrison in Warband had less than 20 units, you would be able to instantly talk to the commander and take it. They would just immediately surrender. And I think that that is indeed missing from Bannerlord, but I don't think that it should work in the same exact way. I feel like how it should work is dependent on how much the attacking force outnumbers the defending force. Then it should provide you with either a percentage chance or maybe a speech check or a charm check or whatever, and then go on from there. Because increasing your chances of being able to persuade these guys to surrender, I think that's a cool idea, but I don't think the speech check should be the be-all and end-all of that particular mechanic, because if that's how it is, then it's going to be exactly the same as trying to get a lady or a lord to marry your character, and in which case that is, well, in my opinion, I feel like it's flawed because you only get one chance. And I don't think you should only get one chance, in my opinion at least, because in this game people die quite quickly, people age faster than you think, and it's just, you know, it's just a whole bunch of stuff can happen really, really quickly, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm too old to have any children? Oh, okay. Well, now my clan has no one else to take over, and so on. So that kind of thing can happen quite easily. Anyway, someone actually suggested that I use a two-handed weapon because I could level up very, very fast with this. Because obviously if I had a two-handed weapon, I could swing that around sometimes whenever I have the opportunity to do so, and it would give me a huge amount of skill points. Because you can see right here, my learning rate of this, thanks to my vigor being 8, is actually 3.25, which is quite good. I obviously have a little bit in focus of this as well, but as I said before, I have created a two-handed character before. The Botanian Smith playlist features a character like that. However, I think that if we do get a two-handed or find a two-handed that is somewhat good, then I'm definitely going to think about at least using a two-handed just to level up a little bit, because that definitely makes a whole bunch of sense. As I've said before, speccing only 3 or maybe 4 focus points in every single skill should have been the way that I did things, but obviously, you know, you live and learn and so on. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to actually be speccing into engineering here because I am getting a bit tired of the fact that my engineering skill is so incredibly low and that I have to rely on friendly vassals coming to make it just that much easier for us to make those preparations for a siege. And if I am going to make my own faction, then obviously I cannot rely on any friendly units to come along and help me out. So that is indeed the issue. So leveling up engineering is definitely going to be pretty high on my priority list, but it's not going to take precedent over other things. But yeah, it's definitely going to be something that I'll have to definitely have to do. Anyway, I am almost at 225 in one-handed. That's going to mean that I get an additional 5% in one-handed weapon damage, and I'm also 175 in athletics, which is going to potentially give me endurance attribute by 1. I think I will be taking the endurance attribute by 1 rather than the party suffers 20% less speed penalty from being overburdened. That is much more a trader skill. However, I don't know why, as a trader, you would spec into athletics rather than specking into riding skill, because riding skill is just generally, in my opinion at least, a bit faster than athletics. But maybe that's just my own, I don't know, my own perception of it, because obviously a horse is bound to be faster than a guy running across the desert, right? You know, I mean, it's bound to be faster, surely. But anyway, the point is, I'm hopeful that once we have... Ooh, here we go. We're actually going in for the town. Nice. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I was actually going to say, I'm hopeful that once the Southern Empire has maybe done a little bit of... well, maybe done a little bit of peace declaring, it might make sense for me to declare war against the Southern Empire themselves and then literally take some of the towns straight up. So just go for it, you know what I mean? However, as I've already shown you, there are a number of very, very strong vassals in the area. They have strong armies, and they are capable of very easily defeating us if we allow them to do so. And obviously, we're going to be a sitting duck if we go into those sieges, you know? It's going to be kind of harsh. Kind of harsh. Alright, well, I'm going to be taking this. We'll take another 5, and then that's it. There we are. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look for a two-handed sword, just because it's going to be interesting to see whether I can level that up relatively quickly. I don't think I even have one, to be honest. I think I have mostly one-handed. I have the Executioner's Axe. I mean, I could use that. I don't think I actually have... No, I don't. Look at that. I do not have a two-handed axe, so it would mean that I'd have to craft that myself if I wanted to. But I'm going to use the Executioner's Axe, and we're going to see how that goes. But it's going to be very interesting to see how fast it can level up from 0. It basically is 0. So we'll see how that goes. But obviously, we're going to be heading into this siege in just a second. There's only 353 defenders here, so it shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, look at that. I actually did a pretty decent amount of damage with this catapult right here. So let me see if I can actually do a little bit more. No. No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Okay, so let me see. Let me just move this a little bit to the right here, and then fire. Here we go. Come on now. Yeah, we took him down. There we go. We literally, look at that. I just gained 11 skill points in throwing, which is now 11. Amusingly enough. I had nothing in it before, so yeah, that's actually kind of amusing. Okay, come on now. Load it up. Load it up. Oh, yeah. I didn't hit anyone that time. I did hit the walls, though, but obviously the walls are not really going to... they're not really going to fall right now, I don't think. Oh, this guy seems to have some weird pathing problems. He seems to be going around the side here. I'm not entirely sure why he's doing that, considering. But let me just make this a little bit easier for him. There we go. And... fire! Ah, didn't hit anything that time either. Alright, I'll leave you fellows to it, and I will be going through the main gate, because I would like to get into the battle as soon as possible, try and get my two-handed weapon proficiency to level us up a little bit. Because obviously if you take a low-tier skill and try to level it up, at least right now, it should be pretty easy, right? Should be pretty easy, so we'll hope and cross our fingers that we're going to be able to do that. Because just gaining a little bit of extra experience, that's always going to make a big difference. And if you want to be a bit more min-maxy than I have been, then I would definitely recommend only putting a couple of points, you know, focus points that is, in each skill that you think you're going to be using more often than most, because then, yeah, you'll level everything up very, very quickly, and then you can start putting those focus points in other things after you've already maxed them out. And you can even save some if you want, you know, you can even save some focus points back and then be like, oh, okay, so which skill is actually capping out today? And then you can be like, oh, okay, what, I don't know, smithing's capping out, I better put another focus point in that. And then it will continue to level up at an efficient pace. And I think that's very cool way to do it. Anyway, my two-handed is ready. It's obviously not going to be that effective right now. Or ever. Right, so far I haven't actually been paying attention. Oh, 45? We've got to 45 from 0? Wow, that's actually pretty good. Not bad. Not bad if I do say so myself. I was actually hoping to get to 50 or so, because that would give us 2 perks. And that would be quite nice. We're at 47. Can I make it? There are so many more enemies, but I don't know where they are. Aha, hello there. Ooh, I made it. There we go. Just look down now, and it's 53. Oh, yeah. That is what I'm talking about. Very nice indeed. All right, so that means... Do you see how much experience we gained from that? Wow, that was crazy. But yeah, all of those skill points are going to act as a catalyst to hopefully get us even more focus points. And I'm not going to be speccing any points into two-handed or anything like that, but it may very well pay us dividends to level a couple of other skills as well. For example, polearms, and maybe thrown weapons as well, because if you think about it, we are maybe aiming to be less of a duelist now and more of a weapon master. And generally I don't really mind either way. I feel like they fulfill a relatively similar role. However, we're still going to keep our main rules intact, where obviously I'm not going to be using a shield and so on. But anyway, that was a very swift and easy victory for us. Gain 2,000 experience from Charm, and I should be able to take hopefully a bunch of units here. I mean, obviously, oh, actually no, but I can convert a number of them, so hopefully that will get us maybe a little bit of space. That would be quite nice, because every single time you convert someone, it is actually causing your own prisoner capacity to increase, because the larger your own army, then obviously the larger your prisoner capacity is. So that's pretty good. That's not too bad. Anyway, we're just going to do this, and do I want to take these guys? Do I have enough space actually for that? I've only got 4 spaces, so I guess I'll just take the tier 4 units and then a couple of these guys and then move on. I'm actually kind of weirded out that I haven't been able to pick up a two-handed sword. That means that must mean, at least, that no one in the entirety of the game that I have fought so far, especially, you know, according to the better looting mod, that is, has never used a two-handed sword, which is quite alarming to me. I would have expected them to use well, shall we say, I would have expected at least one of them to use a two-handed sword. But anyway, we're going to be increasing our endurance attribute, as I said before, and that is going to increase it to 6 once I exit and go back in here. And we're going to increase our two-handed weapon handling, I think. Yep, two-handed weapon handling, because we are a duelist. We want to be swinging fast. We want to be handling it really, really well. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing with our secondary perk there as well, which is going to increase our two-handed swing speed with two-handed swords, which means I'm going to have to craft one at some point. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. As you can see, we have consolidated this territory very, very well. And otherwise, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.